Hello everyone, welcome back to the video here on the Tasty Ride channel. Today we are driving the 2021 Acura TLX A-Spec. This is my new daily driver that I've had for about 2 months now. This is a replacement for my 2018 Honda CR-V EX. And I'm gonna be trying my best here not to be too awkward. I'm not very used to recording, not with the way this camera's positioned in my face right now. Obviously I'm trying to do a POV style of video, so yeah, I'm gonna be trying my absolute best here. I believe this is a dead end. Let's see. But yeah, this car has been excellent so far. This features a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 V-TEC with a 10-speed automatic transmission. This is pushing 272 horsepower with 280 pound-feet of torque. And this is the A-Spec, meaning there are some stylistic differences, especially with this nice leather-wrapped and perforated steering wheel with the flat bottom and A-Spec badge. There are also 2 A-Spec badges on the sides of the car. We also have these really nicely bolstered red seats with some perforated leather and some perforated, what's the word I'm trying to think of? The material in the middle, I can't remember right now. Suede in the middle in black. And obviously we do have just red interior all around, with some nice leather on the side on the doors, and some nice stitching as well. We got a, I believe it's 10.2 inch infotainment system, which has been pretty great so far. It does not feature wireless CarPlay or wireless Android Auto. You do need to connect a cable. However, there is a wireless phone charger, which I find quite hilarious. I don't know why they added a wireless phone charger when you cannot connect Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. However, in the mid-cycle refresh you are able to do that, and I do know Honda is currently working on the Accord, being able to go to the dealership and have them, you know, change the infotainment system to actually have the wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto functionality. I don't know if that's going to be coming to this car. You can also do dealership upgrades to add a heated steering wheel and also remote start. Unfortunately, for some reason on Acuras you have to pay extra for remote start, but on Hondas it's just pretty much the entire lineup has remote start built in. But it seems like a premium feature here. However, I can remotely start using the mobile app, but that's not too much fun. Especially because it's a subscription service. But this car, it is a front-wheel drive. There is an all-wheel drive version called sh all-wheel drive. The sh all-wheel drive system is a true torque vectoring system, I believe that's what it's called. It can send 70% of the power, I believe, to the rear and 100% of the power to either the left or right rear wheel. However, this car is just a front wheel drive system. However, I've heard the sh all-wheel drive is fantastic. Some people say it is possibly the best or one of the best up there all-wheel drive systems. But back to this car, it is front wheel drive. In terms of miles per gallon, I'm not sure what the EPA ratings are. I believe it's somewhere around 23 and 25 on the city, I believe 29 on the highway, and for combined I believe it's supposed to, I think it's rated 27 for the front wheel drive version. However, from my real world testing living in city or general area of Miami, I've only been able to achieve 26 to 29 when I am on the highway, like 60%, 70% of my driving. I've not really been able to get that nice 25, I believe it is, city driving that's been recorded by the EPA. I typically get around 19 if I'm driving really rough and not very smooth. However, if I'm driving very smooth, I get about like 22, 23, which isn't so bad, but compared to the competition, this segment, that isn't the best, especially I believe the BMW, what is it, I think it's a 340i, so people talk about, that gets about, I think, 30 plus on the highway, or 33 on the highway, which this car I think would be possible, but from my testing, I've not been able to get those that type of gas mileage. I'm driving a bit slow here, actually. Sorry about that. Again, not very used to driving with the camera in my head. I don't know. I'm struggling to get this camera to sit properly up here. It just keeps falling down. So right now it's hitting my nose. It's not supposed to. If you guys know what it looks like when you put a GoPro to try to get these POV style videos. But yeah, let's try to really adjust this really quickly. Gosh, there we go. But you know, so far this car has been pretty excellent, outside of needing to take it to taking it to the dealership, because I did have an issue with the brake booster system. It just kind of faded, and my god. And also having an issue with the sound system. Sound system in here is a 17 speaker ELS Studio sound system. I believe this is a like advanced or tech upgrade. I'm not too sure on the trims for the 2021 model year. However, for the 2024 mid-cycle refresh, they did completely redo the lineup. It's a lot more simplified, a bit more expensive throughout the lineup. However, a lot of things have been combined. It's a lot better overall, except for on the Type S, they did remove some options, which I think is kind of ridiculous. And things like heated steering wheel are still not standard. Oh, it's a big pothole. But yeah, this car so far has been quite excellent. I do plan on making a lot of content on here, and we will be doing some upgrades. This is my daily driver at the moment, so until I don't know, get another project car or get another daily driver and just have this as like my sidecar, I don't plan to do many like mods, like aggressive mods, but more to do with like just simple upgrades, whether that be an exhaust system, some wheels, some lowering springs, ground effects package, and possibly most likely like no tunes is what I'm mainly referring to, or like, you know, replacing the entire engine. Because this is my daily driver. I need to be as reliable as possible, which so far has been pretty reliable outside of some like computerized issues is what I've noticed. But yeah, we do have the dynamic mode from other Acuras. Lets me switch between comfort, normal, and sport. There is an optional adaptive damper system, which unfortunately this car does not feature, but we do have the comfort mode, which basically just makes the car a little softer in a way. The feeling, obviously without an adaptive damper system, you can't do as much, but the steering wheel becomes quite light. And then we can actually switch to the sport, which makes the gearing a bit different. You do tend to run through the gears a little more instead of it shifting so early in the normal and comfort modes. And yeah, no, in this car you do also have an auto start stop system, which you can turn off here, and then a brake hold system, which is found in pretty much all Hondas. Now for the auto start stop, for me right now it's actually currently not functioning. I do have to take it back to the dealership for them to fix it, as this is under warranty, so it's something that they'll be repairing. However, in comfort and normal, auto start stop does function as normal. However, if you do drive in the sport mode, you do not have any auto start stop. It is automatically disabled. You can also push the button in and go into your individual settings, which you can actually press and hold to change how the engine, how the steering, and how the car is overall. I believe you can also set color specific, because there is interior lighting. It is daylight right now, but I will probably upload some night drives in order to display how that works as well. Yeah, it's a pretty nice car, and we're not gonna take that. But yeah, this is a pretty nice car. I'm very happy with it. I don't know if I already mentioned, but we have an 10.2 inch infotainment system. It's not touchscreen. You do have this little trackpad down here. You can check out the Acura system right here. And yeah, we do have CarPlay. Use this little touchpad, which is very nice to get used to it as an owner. However, I see a lot of people trashing on it. I do not agree with the whole thing that this should be touchscreen. I like it far back. It's actually nice, comfortable where it is at the moment. You also have this other side where you can swap between a clock, navigation, which I don't use and the Acura's navigation, and then your CarPlay, whatever music's playing, whatever video's playing in the background. It does not have wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but the mid-cycle refresh has changed that, and Honda is currently, for the last generation Honda Accords, offering a tech upgrade package where you can go to the dealership and they'll actually upgrade your Apple CarPlay to, or Android Auto, to be wireless, which they haven't announced for this car yet. However, I do expect them to, because they are obviously in a moment where people are not buying new cars. Oh, those branches just slid across the side of my car. And obviously they want dealerships to be incentivized to be selling their cars, so they'll be offering things like upgrade packages to make dealerships more money. We also do have some nice paddle shifters. I don't know if these are what this is exactly made out of, but yeah, it's like a metal piece or plasticky piece, kind of what it feels like. You have your obviously downshift and upshift, which don't the car will upshift and auto downshift no matter what, unless you are in the sequential mode, which is where the drive selector comes in. You obviously have the parking, you have the reverse, you have the neutral, and you have the drive. However, if you push the drive in again once you're already in drive, it'll go into sequential mode, and you'll basically be going all the way through the gears, which more so allows you to shift like you would shift a car. However, you can't shift from first to second. The car will shift for you unless you want to shift super early. I don't know why Acura really does that. It's like they don't really trust their drivers, which, I mean, I can understand with the way some people drive their cars. However, it's still a bit odd to me. I do wish they would drop like a software update or something, as you can update the software on this car through the infotainment system. I don't know if that would allow you to do system updates where you can change overall driving mechanics, but that'd be very nice. But yeah, you also have the perforated steering wheel. It's very comfortable. It actually gives you a bit of grip. Obviously, some people do like just the overall leather. I do like this perforated leather because it is a little bit more grippy, and it looks nice. I think it looks quite nice. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. Again, I am pretty awkward with this. I'm very new at this. So I'm gonna be trying my best, and I'm definitely gonna get a different hat to freaking mount this GoPro to, because my nose is about to have a red mark on it, because holy cow. And I definitely do have to find some routes to be really driving on, because right now I'm just like kind of going back and forth around North Miami Beach just through different roads. But yeah, this was a quick little sum up of this car. Trying to think of other things to say. Oh, one thing I did miss: the gauges. The gauge cluster in this car is absolutely beautiful. Obviously you do have the silver and the red on this gauge cluster. It is quite nice having physical gauges with some obviously changeable stuff in the middle, with your obviously your hot and cold and your gas being digital. You can change to the digital display. You can actually use these scroll wheels on the sides to actually go through them a little bit. So let's turn really quickly before I mess with these little scroll wheels. But on the right side, you get to change what's on the display. You can display between the trip computer. You can go through your safety support stuff, minimal, your driver attention level, your tire pressure, which I have noticed to be a little inaccurate, navigation, your current speed, and yeah, it just kind of goes back and forth between that. Looks like there's a bit of traffic up here. Not really sure what's going on over here. I assume it was just a red light. Sorry, I'm just really confused as to what's going on around me at the moment. I'll let that car go first. But yeah, this car's been pretty nice. I'll be dropping more content, hopefully a lot more comfortable with a more predetermined route. Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions. I will be dropping a video talking about my overall, like, more in-depth driving experience. I'll be dropping a video with all the issues I've had with this car. I know some of you had questions about that on a previous video where I did show off this car, and we'll go more in depth as time goes. But I just wanted to do a quick little sum up, just driving around a little bit, talking about the car, and yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.